I don't think most of us are confused about who we are. I think we're confused about who we are allowed to be. Gender feels natural to us, not because it is natural, but because we repeat it every single day. We confuse habit with identity, the way we sit, speak, dress, react. We do it so often that it starts feeling like this is just who I am. But I don't think gender felt heavy in the beginning. It started feeling heavy when rules were attached to it, when there was a right way to be and a wrong way to exist.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, today's topic is basically something that has come into my mind a lot of times when I was in school and I used to face gender disparity a lot. So, I hope you got today's topic from the intro, and the topic is that gender is a performance. And I personally believe that a lot of confusion, a lot of shame, a lot of anxiety that we face today comes from actually trying to perform that role perfectly, correctly. Trying to get that perfect figure, trying to get the perfect curves the girls should have, or guys trying to have the perfect haircut. I really believe that of the confusion, a lot of the shame that we feel today stems from all of these roles that have been put onto us. So, firstly, I'll explain you what gender as a performance actually means. So, this is basically a metaphor, and metaphors basically यूज होते हैं जब आपको कोई चीज़ एक्सप्लेन करनी होती है, तो आप किसी दूसरी चीज़ का एग्जाम्पल लेके उसको समझाते हो। जैसे कि her heart is like a stone means आप बोलना चाह रहे हो that the person is very emotionless and उसका पत्थर जैसा दिल जो हिंदी में बोलते हैं. That's why we use metaphor. We use metaphors to try to explain one thing by using another, which makes it easier to understand the first thing. So here a metaphor is used, which is gender is a performance, and this is basically a concept that is both available in psychology and sociology. So firstly, I'll explain you the metaphor that is used here. So we are basically saying that the society, and society includes all the people around us, right? Our neighbors, our friends, our family, our extended family, everyone around us. So basically, the society is a stage, okay, and the costumes that the performers, the actors wear, those are the gender rules, right? और जब performance बहुत अच्छी होती है, you get an applause from the audience. वो है validation, that you want from the society, that you need from the society. और जब performance अच्छी नहीं होती है तो audience boo करती है, and that boo is the judgment. और इस पूरे metaphor में we are the actors who are performing the roles by wearing the costumes, which are the gender roles that have been put onto us. Honestly, by making this video, I do not want to bring up the question about your gender identity. I do not want you to question what gender am I. I just want you to question who am I when these roles are not put onto me. Who am I without these gender roles? And I honestly believe that you can only know yourself perfectly when you know that which parts of you are actually you and which parts of you have been put onto you by the society. So, as I told you guys, there is a concept in psychology and sociology that talks about gender as a performed identity. Best known researcher behind this idea is Judith Butler. Okay, and she put forward an idea, and that idea is really simple. Okay,
way. We have a whole range of differences, biological in nature, so I don't deny them. But I don't think they determine who we are in some sort of final way. At the heart of these controversies is the distinction between sex and gender. What is that distinction? How do we think about it? Sex is generally a category that is assigned to infants that has importance within medical and legal worlds. Gender is a mix of cultural norms, historical formations, family influence, psychic realities, desires and wishes, and we have a say in that.
Just says that gender is not who we are, right? Gender is something that we do repeatedly, like again and again. By our biological sex is about our anatomy, right? Our body parts. But gender is actually about our behavior, the way we speak, what we wear, our body language, our posture. That is what gender is. And it is not something that comes to us instinctively. It is not something that comes to us naturally. We learn it since the day we are born, okay? And we learn it from the people around us, our family, our teachers, our friends, our neighbors, and we learn it from the type of movies that we watch, basically, the type of media that we consume. When something is done repeatedly, something is watched repeatedly, something is put in front of you repeatedly, your brain at some point stops questioning it कि यार अगर 100 लोग ये चीज़ कर रहे हैं तो हाँ ये ठीक होगी. Why do I have to question it, right? So you guys start thinking that yeah, this is natural. This is how girls naturally behave. This is how guys naturally behave. Although it is not natural, it is a societal construct. It is just repetition. You repeat it so many times that you forget that you ever learned it and you feel like this is natural, that this has always been inside of you, although it has not been. Taking some real life examples, think about the phrases that we grew up hearing. Men don't cry. Wow. Be more ladylike. Girls should sit properly. Like, man, why should only girls sit properly? That is the genuine question that I have. You are not masculine enough, bro. You know, no one is born knowing कि लड़कियों की तरह कैसे बैठते हैं और लड़कों की तरह कैसे बिहेव करते हैं. These are the scripts that are handed over to us and हम उस scripts को unknowingly याद करने लग जाते हैं. You know, I remember this has happened with me a lot of times. I remember when I was in fourth grade, kabhi kabhi lunch break ke time, I would go with the guys and play cricket, right? One day I came to class and I told my teacher, ma'am, I played cricket today with these people. And she was like, हाँ आप लड़का ही बन जाओ ना जाके. When I was in seventh grade, something happened in my class. A guy was saying something abusive to a girl and she slapped him. My class teacher came, she went to the girl and she said, you abuse and you hit people. So, what's the difference between you and a guy? Do you want to become a boy? Then, even your teachers are saying things like this, and for a lot of people, even their parents are saying things like this. Acceptable बनने के लिए for their parents, for their teachers, they start behaving differently. अगर उनको क्रिकेट खेलने का मन है वो नहीं जाएंगे. अगर कोई कुछ कर रहा है पिटने वाला उसको नहीं मारेंगे because that's what guys should do. Cricket is something guys should play. किसी को अगर टीचर्स को इम्प्रेस करना है, अपने पेरेंट्स को इम्प्रेस करना है, they would automatically stop doing things that make them look bad in front of their parents and teachers. We act differently around different people. I can see this for myself and I can see this for a lot of people that I have observed. They act differently in front of some people, they act differently in front of their family, they act differently in front of strangers, and they act differently in front of their friends. Some situations demand them to be more feminine, some situations demand them to be more men like. Was then I downloaded a shopping app into my phone, and I was trying to log into it. And the first question that that app asked me is, are you a male or a female? Because I know you will show me the type of products that a girl should want. If I don't want those products and I want the products that guys should like something black in color or something blue in color. Okay, so now let's put some logic into what all I'm saying. So I'll tell you guys one thing. There was a person, Margaret Mead, and she asked a very simple question that do men and women behave the same way everywhere? So she went around and she studied different cultures, and in one culture, the male and female, they were both very caring, very nurturing, very polite, very kind. The traits which often labeled as being feminine. She studied another culture, and everyone over there, male and female, they were all very dominating, very assertive, very aggressive, the traits that are labeled as masculine. And then she studied another culture where the males were worried about their appearance, very conscious, very polite. Females were the leaders, they were dominating. These traits, being feminine and being masculine, are very different across different cultures, right? हमारे यहाँ पे जो चीज़ फेमिनिन हो सकती है वो किसी दूसरे कल्चर में मैस्कुलिन हो सकती है, एंड वाइस वर्सा, राइट? सो अगर ये जो जेंडर रोल्स होते ये नेचुरली इंसान में आते, तो वो अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड, अक्रॉस ऑल द कल्चर, अक्रॉस ऑल द पीपल सेम होने चाहिए, नो, बट दे आर नॉट. And this literally says that gender roles are something that we learn from the society, as I told you. It is not something that we are born with. It cannot be. Being a media student, there was something that I learned the first day in my class, which was that media influences the society and society influences media. And there's a theory by Albert Bandura which literally states that children learn by consuming media, understanding the behavior, and then repeating it, imitating it, right? Cartoons that I grew up watching. हमेशा जो central figure होती थी, whether it was Shinchan, whether it was Doraemon, whether it was Ninja Hattori, हमेशा लड़के होते थे. In Shinchan, there was one girl, Nanny. All the rest were boys. In Doraemon, again, two girls, Shizuka and Cheko. Doremi, all the other was male. I'm not saying that there were no females, but the number of males was always more. This central lead was always a guy, and females were always in the supportive role, right? Shizuka and Nanny, they always wear pink, they always wear dresses. So when kids grow up watching all of this again and again and again, the repetition that happens, that's what I'm talking about. The scripts that are provided to us, even through our favorite cartoons. 3-5 साल का बच्चा कार्टून देख रहा है, what are they seeing in that? कि लड़कियों ने skirts पहनी है, लड़कियों ने dresses पहनी है, that's what girls should wear. लड़कियों ने पिंक पहना है, that's what girls should wear. Girls are crying like hell and then guys are coming and saving them. That's how girls should be. These gender roles are put in front of us, are put into our brains again and again and again until हमें लगने लगता है कि ये तो natural है. ये तो मेरे अंदर ही है जब से मैं born हुआ हूँ. I haven't learned this. This is natural, bro. Girls are born with it. Guys are born with it. अभी भी अगर आई बिलीव मैं अपने से ऊपर की जनरेशन से जाके पूछूंगी, वो यही कहेंगे कि लड़कियों को तो डॉल्स ही पसंद आती हैं, लड़कों को तो कार्स ही पसंद आती है, उनको पसंद नेचुरली नहीं आती है. वो बस उन्होंने इतना रेपिटेशन में देख लिया है कि उनको लगता है कि हमें पसंद आनी चाहिए. And I genuinely believe that the reason today a lot of us feel so lost, a lot of us feel so disconnected, is because हमें डिफरेंस नहीं पता चल रहा है between what is natural and what we have learned. And this really creates a confusion. The question that comes again and again, who am I? Because performing these roles again and again every day is really exhausting. It means constantly monitoring yourself. Am I doing enough? Am I not doing enough? Am I girly enough? Am I not girly enough? लोगों को क्या लग रहा है? लोगों को लगता है मैं टॉमबॉय हूँ. नो, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. ऑल्सो कम्स टू अ पॉइंट जहाँ पे हम अपने पार्ट्स, जो नेचुरल पार्ट्स है, वो सप्रेस करने लग जाते हैं. लाइक बीइंग अ किड, आई लाइक प्लेइंग क्रिकेट, बट आई यूज्ड टू सप्रेस इट बिकॉज ऑफ द कमेंट्स दैट आई यूज्ड टू गेट बिकॉज ऑफ इट. Till today, I believe a lot of people have a lot of parts that they have suppressed because वो gender roles में fit नहीं कर रहे थे. This is really exhausting. This is really confusing. And I honestly think that most of the confusion and that feeling of being lost we feel today is because हम distinguish नहीं कर पा रहे हैं कि मैं क्या हूँ और मुझे क्या सिखाया गया है. Lastly, I just want to say that I'm calling gender a performance does not mean I'm saying that gender is fake. The identities that people have, they are real. The feelings that people have are real. The experiences people have are real. What I'm saying is the rules around the genders are constructed. And I really believe that anything that is constructed should be changed and it should be reshaped. So I'm not saying that you should go ahead and reject the genders completely, but I'm saying that you should not try too hard to perform the genders perfectly. I want you to decide for yourself कि तुम्हें इसमें से कितने रूल्स अपनी लाइफ में चाहिए, कितने रूल्स अपनी लाइफ में नहीं चाहिए, और कौन से रूल्स को तुम बस रीशेप करना चाहते हो. That's all I want out of this video. So yeah, this is it for the video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.